Y'all Show. Talk with a Southern accent. Welcome back. We all need a little humor, right, these days? It's been a rough couple of months here. And here on the Y'all Show, we try to bring you fun and excitement and humor from time to time. And on this little segment that we call hashtag Hullabaloo of today's Y'all Show, we're going to do just that. We're going to dive into the humor bag. And I've seen over the last couple of weeks some of our great comedians of the world reach into their bag of tricks to bring out a few laughs during the coronavirus. So why not here on the Y'all Show? We reach deep inside our bag of tricks and see what we can dig out here on the show that's all about the South. And to use a sports analogy, oftentimes in comedy, if you can get, let's say, you bat 250, one out of every four jokes brings a laugh, then you've done something. So perhaps right here on today's Y'all Show, we'll be able to do exactly that. So let's kick off the fun with here our Southern fun, our Southern humor with a little levity. And as I said, it's now been 2 months since the coronavirus got into the news, and things have been going crazy these last 60 days or so. But congratulations, we've all survived. And kind of stealing a page from the headlines of way before the coronavirus, we've seen in the last 2 months governments crack down, mostly in blue states, crack down big time, and it's become hard to go against the government with these forced shutdowns. And so it makes you wonder, during these last 2 months, where has Antifa been, for goodness sake? As they always were just beating the drum for fascist, fascist, fascist. I don't think for some of you anything's more fascist than being told you got to stay inside for 2 months, although we understand the reason for that. But yeah, the Antifas of the world have sure been quiet over these last 2 months, have they not? And as we continue to talk about the coronavirus, President Trump in Washington, he keeps touting that there's going to be a vaccine. In fact, at the end of last week, before he went off to Camp David, he said we're going to have a vaccine, or he hopes to, at least, I should clarify, hopes to have a vaccine by the end of 2020. So we're talking right around December 25th, 26th, somewhere in that time period, we should have a vaccine. And I know the good folks of Alabama, especially the Crimson Tide fans, sometimes have been accused of not really looking at their calendar too much. So, hey, Roll Tide fans, just so we can put this in perspective for you, President Trump hopes that the coronavirus vaccine is going to be ready about the same time Alabama's going to get thumped again by Clemson. That's the plan, Alabama fans. Sorry, I know that was a low blow, but hey, it's either Alabama or all the other colleges in college football to go against, and I'll choose everybody else when I'm wanting to have a good laugh. But I got another laugh coming for another SEC program. We're going to have some more sports humor coming your way in just a minute here on the Y'all Show. Hey, if you want to share some jokes or some fun, we want to let you know that you can always reach us here at the Y'all Show if you've got some good Southern humor. And that number is right there, 803-816-1170. You can call or you can text that number anytime you feel like it and let us know what's on your mind. It might be humorous. You might have something negative to say. We'll take it all, y'all, here on the Y'all Show. And that's, again, the way to reach us right there on the show that's all about the South. Okay, continuing our trend of talking about coronavirus, and I promise you we've got some non-coronavirus humor that we'll get to in a second. I wish I were joking on this. I wish this was a truly made-up humorous joke. It's not. I bet y'all have seen some goofy stuff here in the last 2 months. Well, I saw maybe the goofiest thing of all just the other day when I was out, believe it or not, picking up some food, and a guy came in, and I'm not kidding, 100% truth, Scout's honor, Scout's honor. A guy came into where I was picking up food, and he had on, I'm not joking, a washcloth wrapped in, it folded up in two, and he had it over his mouth like this, a washcloth, and he had, I think, maybe a string over his ear so it would be held up. But that's a cheap way to get you a face covered, is to go into the bathroom and get you a washcloth and then attach it to your face. And I laughed at the time, and then I realized maybe what he's doing is brilliant, because hey, when he gets back to his hotel, he can just leave that on the hotel bathroom floor. It's pretty smart. Although I don't think this guy was staying at the local Holiday Inn if I had to take a guess. But one thing I do want to bring up, I know a lot of people have had something to say about where we've been over the last 2 months when it comes to having problems finding toilet paper and other paper items in a grocery store. It's been really, really stupid that we have run out of toilet paper. Maybe some of you have had a little bit better success over the last few weeks, but why people decided to hoard toilet paper, I have no idea. In fact, just the other day, I stopped by the local Piggly Wiggly and I was going down the aisle that has the paper products. No toilet paper. No toilet paper. You'd think we would use toilet paper. Meanwhile, there were plenty of options when it came to tissues, to Kleenex. And I'm sorry, I sneeze and need a Kleenex maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't know about y'all. Maybe you can get by a little quicker, or you may need more Kleenex than I used. I guess I got good internal plumbing. But I don't need all that Kleenex. I need toilet paper. Y'all need toilet paper, right? Yeah, you do. And so, therefore, it's just a darn shame that you're sitting there looking at empty shelves where toilet paper should be, and there ain't none there, zero, but plenty of Kleenex. And it got me thinking that, you know, I'm okay with Kleenex. I mean, Kleenex, we maybe should use more of it, or because, look, when we run out of Kleenex, we can always uh, get by. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you do. All right. Hey, let's go to some real news. And this comes to us from just outside of Nashville this week. Keith Urban in the news. He put on the first drive-in movie theater concert, and he did it for the great workers who were working on the coronavirus at Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville. And he put on a free concert. He's gotten a lot of national attention. Keith Urban, the music superstar, married to Nicole Kidman. Yeah, and he did this in front of a big screen there. It's maybe the first time somebody in the Urban and Kidman household's been up on the big screen in a long time. That was pretty low, I know. The real truth of the matter, though, is Keith Urban, good on you for doing this. I don't often credit him a lot because he's not a Southern boy. He's not even an American boy, but he's been around Nashville a long time, so he's working our way into being a good Southern boy. But Keith Urban, good on you for doing what you did the other day in Nashville. And to be honest with you, Keith, with that kind of performance, you truly are becoming an urban legend. Come on, you can laugh. Hopefully, again, as long as I get one out of every four of these things brings a smile to your face, then I'm doing okay. I promise you. Because I have no live audience. So I had a live audience here. I know all of you would be falling on the floor laughing. Now, it is a rule in a large portion of the South that you must fish. Fishing is a state law in a large portion of the South. And I'm not much of a fisherman, I'll be honest, but I do like me some fish. In fact, I got to brag. I had me some delicious catfish on Friday, and that's not a joke. It was cooked up in a way I've not had it cooked up before, and boy, was it just tasty. Delicious catfish. And I'm not going to tell you where I got it from because I don't want y'all to go in there and have them cook up all the catfish, and then when I go back in there here this week, they'll be out. So I'm not going to tell you, but just take it from me, Johnny, that it was darn good, okay? So with that in mind, it's always good to have a little fish, to talk a little fish humor with all y'all here, right? So I have a little catfish humor. Do you know why catfish, when you first get them out of the water, when you got them there on that hook, and you pull them up, why their faces are blushing? Do you have any idea why a catfish face, why they blush when you get them? It's because they just saw the river bottom. They just saw that river's bottom, and they're blushing. Oh, it ain't that cute. It sure is. Okay, let's talk about NASCAR. Maybe you tuned in on Sunday, Darlington, South Carolina, at the Darlington Speedway there, the track too tough to tame, also known, I think, as the Lady in Black, in the PD of South Carolina. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick as he picked up his 50th win in NASCAR racing in front of, about 3 people and a couple of pigeons, maybe a few seagulls there at Darlington Speedway in South Carolina Sunday afternoon. But for NASCAR, great for you. You're back up and going. You proved that you could go, and I think it worked out. Heck, I even tuned in, and I'm not even normally a NASCAR viewer, but I thought it was pretty intriguing to watch, first of all, something live, but second of all, to see what it's like to race with no fans in attendance. And that's what they had there at Darlington Speedway. And it had me thinking, no fans in the stands, that's really not all that unusual for NASCAR here in the last couple of years. They've had a lot of empty seats over the last couple of races in NASCAR. But I was watching it on Fox. It was on the main Fox network Sunday. And it kind of did remind me of the few times I've tuned in NASCAR here recently, that NASCAR, NASCAR's back when they go around the track one time and then they got about 12 commercials on television. Yeah, NASCAR's back when it's up and going like that. So that's funny. Now back to a little college sports humor, if you don't mind, as we wrap up our Southern humor with all y'all here on the Y'all Show. Don't forget, we can always find everything here at Yall at our website, Yall.com. Yall is the ultimate guide of the South, and it's right there at YALL.com. Check it out. This is on there. All the other great stories we put up daily, multiple times a day. We go around the website world more than NASCAR does, I promise you. But lastly, to take it back to the sports world, and here in the South, we love our college sports as we wrap up our humor here on this beginning of the week edition of the Y'all Show. Tennessee, the Vols, they're excited about what's going to be happening if there's going to be a college football season here in 2020. And the QB of the Vols may be just the most experienced QB coming back in the Southeastern Conference here in 2020. I'm talking Jarrett Garantano, and he's going to be taking the snaps and hoping Tennessee is made great again. They almost got there last year. They turned their season around after losing to Georgia State and then had some good wins there at the end of the season. But Tennessee could be a sleeper team here this year, contending for the SEC East, believe it or not. And although I'm not really wanting to talk a lot of sports here or get into the X's and O's in this humorous portion of today's Y'all Show, we'll talk a little more sports when we get to hour number 2 today. But Jarrett Garantano, he's gearing up for a big season on Rocky Top, and I think it's getting to him a little bit. He knows that he has potential to steer this team back to greatness. And I have to wonder, Jarrett, if he sits around there on the hill in Knoxville in his big orange and wearing his big orange PJs, if he's sitting there thinking, I think we can do something special here this year in Knoxville. Yeah, maybe, just maybe, if things go the way I hope they go and the stars align, maybe just like somebody else, I could end up being the Heisman Trophy runner-up in 2020. Now, if that happens, Tennessee is back on top. And that is a quick, and I mean quick, look at some funny things here, putting our little Y'all Southern spin for all y'all to enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that. We have more of the show that's coming up, and we want you to stick around. We do have some real sports news that we'll get to. In fact, speaking of college football and USFL football, a passage over the weekend. Pepper Rogers, a former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, passed away, and he coached the college game. He coached the USFL's Memphis Showboats back in the 1980s, and we'll tell you more about that and some other sports headlines as the Y'all Show continues with a whole nother hour. Thank y'all for being a part of the show that truly is all about the South. Stay tuned.